I had a crazy fun night last night, y'all. So you guys know I was collabing with Yuzu and then I had to leave because I had to go back to NHQ to bring in some new packages that were delivered. And like immediately after that, I sat down for a second and then I blinked and then 45 minutes passed. I ended up falling asleep for like 45 minutes. I was like, oh! But then I went and had a quick shower and then I went over to drive to NHQ to meet Hami and my friend Lonky because we had a planned thing since last week around to basically start doing a thing for the next 3 weeks where one of us would cook for each other. And as you guys know, I went from somebody who was unable to cook anything in the world to being somebody who can cook like 2 dishes, which is more than one. I can cook 2 now. My best dish that I've shown you guys almost every single time I've made it for Papa Numi and I is my pasta recipe. The little pasta recipe that I made, because not only is it yummy, but it's also 477 calories with, what was it, 25 grams of protein. So perfect for a calorie deficit. But I decided for the recipe for this week, I start it. So I cook first. The next week is Lonky. And then the week after that is Hami. Hami gets the last week because she went to like culinary school for a year. So she can actually cook really, really well, I guess. And I got the first week. And so I was preparing, remembering all of the measurements in my head to try to make it and impress them with my learned cooking skills. And so I drive over to NHQ and I brought over the Giri cutting board and I told Hami to park on the side so that I can, you know, go into the garage because we didn't have enough parking spaces and so I had to take the garage. So I go inside and she goes inside first because she got there first and so she was chilling inside and then I get over to the house and I brought pretty much everything, my spices, all of that, my little food blender to make the pasta sauce. But there were a few things that we needed to buy, such as some lean meat and other various items to make the pasta dish. And so we had to go to the supermarket together. And so Hami and I were just waiting for Lonky. And when Lonky got there, we were just gonna go out and go into Lonky's car because we knew it was gonna be a really quick trip to the supermarket anyway. And we're both walking and we said, oh, we should just go meet her in the car. Let's make sure all the doors are locked and stuff. And then close it with our key, like our electronic key lock card thing. And leave our keys in NHQ. We were all like, should we bring our keys? Oh, no, it's only gonna be a short trip anyway. Nothing bad is gonna happen anyways. Bruh. So we go ahead and lock the door with our electric key, and then we go into the car with Lonky and drive to the supermarket. We get to the supermarket, we go inside, and this is one of the strangest interactions I think we've ever had at a supermarket. We walk in, and there is this man standing in front of one of the aisles, like an NPC, and we tried to just keep walk past him because, you know, I don't know, bro was just standing, smiling, staring at us, and which is kind of funny because prior to this, when I was on stream with Yuzu, we were talking about how there are weird interactions with guys IRL and then like normal ones, and so then this happens afterwards, after this collab. So we're just walking past, and this guy walks up to us and he said, ladies, welcome to Walmart. We weren't at a Walmart. I don't know what I think he was trying to be funny because he started smiling like he just said the funniest joke of all time. And so I kind of look at him and I said, oh yeah, and then Javi said, oh, and then Lucky said, oh, thank you. And we just start walking into the aisle. Tell me why after we walk away, the guy starts following us with his eyes. He doesn't actually move, but he starts staring and like laughing. He starts laughing at himself and the joke that he said, but the way that he laughed was a literal evil NPC laugh. He started going, welcome to Walmart, ladies. And at that point, I tried so hard not to laugh. I was trying so hard to be normal. I was like, well, we were walking into the aisle because I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just trying to walk through it. I said, oh my god, what the hell? Oh my god. And then after that, we like tried to go around and we're like, oh, okay. And so we kind of just didn't really think about it until 15 minutes later. And Monkey's like, what just happened? And it took us so long to acknowledge the way that he laughed and stuff that we laughed again at it after because it was so silly. And then we go to checkout and he was there. Like, I don't know how forgot his name, but he was just talking to some other person at the self-checkout register, and that other guy looked like he wanted to leave so bad. And we said sorry to the bro. Sorry, but we gotta get out of here. And so we just kind of like slowly try to get out without the guy noticing us, because we were like, "Ugh," and then we just run out. But the guy was just camping. He wasn't buying anything. He was just standing there and talking to people. He was just standing there, and then he was just going to the other side. IRL oblivion NPC. It was so... Anyways, we got to the car, and then Lucky was like, oh my god, life is such a movie. Sometimes we're like, oh my god, we were just laughing about it. And then we make it back to NHQ, and we bring all of the groceries to the front door. We try to open the door, and we're all holding stuff except Hami, because Hami was gonna be the one to open the door. And so she gets her little key card thing, and then we hear the door thing go like... We all slowly turn. We slowly look at the door, and then we look at each other. And then there was this brief pause, and then Hami said, oh, it's not opening. I look over at Hami. I said, oh, that's strange. And then I tried to use the keycard thing again. At this point, there was no more sounds, so I kind of look at her again, and then Lanky's like, oh, well, why don't you guys use your key then, like the regular key? And then I look over at Lanky. I'm like, my keys are inside in the house. And then Lanky's like, what? I'm like, well, because we thought we could just use the little keypad. We didn't. And then I look over at Hami. I'm like, well, why don't you use your key? And then she said, I left it in the house. And then she said, why don't you use the garage door opener? I said, it's in my car. That's in the garage. And then Lucky said, why don't we just climb the fence and go in through the back? I said, I locked the back door. And then we all just kind of look at each other, and we're all, ladies, what do we do? And I just got, ain't no fucking way. And then I just, slowly go into my pocket. I reach out my phone. Mind you, it's around 10 p.m. I call Papa Numi. I'm like, Dad. And he said, hey, what's up? I'm like, Dad, so, we're locked out of the house, and, can you please come over and open the door for us? And he said, fine. And then he just starts driving over. And after that, we kind of just stand there. We're waiting for Papa Numi to come over to open the door for us. I said that, well, Papa Numi saved us yet again. Then I turned around and noticed that our neighbor was outside. So I have a couple neighbors. One of the neighbors you guys all know is the neighbor that called the police on us, which I did see, and she does not look like she likes me very much. We've been new. My other neighbor is apparently a really, really handsome man that I refuse to see, because every time I go to NHQ, I look fucking disgusting. So, I don't know what that guy looks like, but my brother said he's handsome, and so I try my best to not be seen by this person. Our other neighbor I met the other day when Papa Numi and I were cutting up boxes to recycle. This was when I was trying to bring in the trash. I look over and I see this beautiful woman, and then I was like, oh, she made eye contact with me, and she was on a phone, kind of like leaning against her garage, and just made eye contact with me. And then I was like, oop, oop, oop. And you know what I always do when I make eye contact with somebody is I will always look away. And I like look back, and she was still looking at me. And then she smiled, and then I was like, and then she raised her hand up and like waved at me, and then I did the half hand up and did the awkward wave, and then she had her phone on, and then I just went inside. I'm like, wow, Father, the neighbor over there, she kind of crazy, she kind of bad. And he's like, oh really? Was she really pretty? And then I was like, yeah. And then he's like, wow, what, did you wave at her? And I'm like, no, she waved at me. Fast forward to last night, we were all standing in front of the front door waiting for Papa Numi to come over. She was out there again doing like another business call. And I was talking about her, talking about how pretty she was. And then I noticed her in the distance, and then I just shut the fuck up. But then Lonky started like, well, what if this happened and this happened with her, and then this happened with her, just making a bunch of silly little predicaments. And then I said, Lonky. And then she kind of turned around and then saw her, and then she was like, oh. I don't know if she heard us or anything, but she was going to walk back inside, but then she glanced and saw us all standing there in front of my house at 10 in the morning, not going inside, just standing there looking lost and confused. She looked so concerned. She went into her house before she closed the door, just kind of looked and watched us for like a minute, because she's like, they're not going into the house. Why are they just standing there? And then she just eventually left. But I think she was debating in her brain whether or not she should ask if we were okay, and then was like, nah, I'm sure they're fine, and then just tried to walk away after that. Papa Numi finally came over and opened the door for us. But then we go inside, and then we put on the movie Challengers, the one with Zendaya, on the projector screen, because we still don't have furniture or TVs or anything like that, but we have our America chairs and our projector, okay, and Wi-Fi. So we were watching it while I started to get on to cooking. And I said, this is finally my time to shine. I'm ready to do it. The process was going incredibly well. I was having a really good time. And then I got to the part, there's this one part in cooking this dish where you have to cut up a bunch of tomatoes, some bell peppers, then you have to cook it, put all the spices together, you let it rest, and then you put it in the blender with some other ingredients, and then you blend it together, right? But the problem is, if you put a little too much stuff in, it's hard to open the container after you mix everything. And so they're just watching the movie while I'm struggling to open this container. And then I couldn't really open it. But then I went over and I asked them, I'm like, oh, can you guys open this? And then they couldn't open it. And I said, oh, we're so fucked. But then the bell, it rang in my head. Do you guys remember the Easy Bake Oven stream from last year? How I ended up putting the dish in between my thighs to heat it up and melt it so I could use the dish? I turned to them and I said, guys, I know how I can open this. I just need to use my thighs. And they were like, what the fuck, Numi? What do you mean by that? But I was wearing pants. And so I said, don't worry, girls, I just need to take off my pants and then I can do this. And then they said, okay, but what are you gonna do? So then I just do what I had planned in my mind all along, and then I just took off my pants. And then I sat down on the America chair, and then I put the blender thing in between my legs, and they said there's no way this is gonna work, and it fucking worked. It worked. My power, it worked. And I opened it and I said, no way, it worked. And then we were just laughing and crying about it for like 10 minutes because it was so funny. And then they said, wait a minute, you're not wearing pants. You need to do what the anime girls do and put on an apron. So I remembered the apron that the Rune Factory apron that was gifted to me with the chicken glass. And so I put on the apron with my cheeks out, and then I just continued cooking the dish, and I finished cooking the dish with my pants on the floor. And then they took a picture. They're like, wait, this is such a funny picture. And so then there's just a picture of me cooking with my apron on with my cheeks out, and we were laughing at it for like 30 minutes, and then we ate and it was delicious. But yeah, so now there's a picture of me out there, cheeks out with an apron on, just like they do in the anime. Asking for a friend, where is that picture? Safely hidden in the memories of our own heart. But I just truly think the first month of Noomba HQ has been the experience of all time.